number 1 between Armstrong and the captain in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. On the left, rolling out of the United States, sporting a 1.38 million PB, it is Armstrong. And on the right, the hybrid player out of the United States. He'll play anything. With a 1.41 million PB, a 1.414140 PB. It's the captain. A lot of 14s. And captain gonna be on the board first with a Tetris, 24,000 to get things started. Armstrong also with the Tetris. Captain with plenty of room to burn here. Should have no problem playing at this height right now. That was looking like tapping early on. Also known to play DAS from time to time, and then can switch to rolling. Another Tetris for Armstrong. Definitely two strong stackers here. As you can tell, they are at the top of Division 2A. And they're there for a reason. And hopefully we'll see some of that reason in this set. Another Tetris for captain, take the lead. Armstrong looking for long bar here, gonna get it. Bang, Tetris. You know what I did not do? I did not check seats. Yeah, we're on the same seat. It's good. Bang Tetris for Armstrong, 213. Another Tetris for captain to go to 215. 1,900 points separating the players. 2.5 lines. Another Tetris for Armstrong. There's one for captain. Lee, how's it going? Welcome in. Although I didn't see Grand Designs here. Bang Tetris for Armstrong. Captain's been having to clean out lines because he doesn't have a very accommodating board for flat pieces. Gonna get score a Tetris there, though. But finds himself ahead in lines by 8. And behind in score, which is not where you want to be in a Tetris match. Another Tetris for Armstrong. We're more than halfway through the level 18 start. Captain in a bit of trouble at the top of the board here, but is still able to tap pieces around. Oh, gets very lucky with that sandwich combination there of the S and the L. Armstrong shaking his head. His board kind of looks like it's been seeing better days. Opens up the right side, looking for a long bar. Goes take a double there. There's the long bar. Bang Tetris for Armstrong. Still sporting about a 2 Tetris lead here over captain. And a long bar for captain. Bang Tetris. 375 for Armstrong. 363 for captain. Captain already past the 100-line turn. Armstrong looking for a long bar to get there, and will do so, making it to 403,000. A bit of a better score than captain at the moment. Captain with a long bar dependency, but gets a long bar immediately to fill it. You can kind of tell he didn't want to stack another square over there, but as soon as he saw the long bar, he's like, yeah, it should be all right. Captain realizing this board probably not the greatest. Gonna go ahead and just put that square all the way over to the right to cover the well, and then flatten his board out some before proceeding. We'll get the long bar. Bang Tetris. Armstrong having to cover the well here. It's gonna open it right back up though. 455 for Armstrong, 414 for Captain. Similar line counts right now. That's a Tetris for Captain. Armstrong not getting a long bar right now, but we'll get one there. Look at about a 500,000 transition for Armstrong. Oh, never mind. He may still get the 500,000, but it's going to be painful. 506, 462 for Captain. We are off and running, level 19. Nothing like putting a long bar down the right side and clearing nothing. That's just what happened to Armstrong. A double flip for Armstrong, but opens it right back up and gets another chance at it. Second chances aren't something you see very often when you make a mistake like that. Oh, didn't get the piece all the way over left, so Armstrong struggling here on 19. Captain not exactly in scoring position, though. So both players climbing up the board here, as neither player's really getting a good run of pieces. Oh, I wouldn't place that flat on the left, and I think he's going to pay for it. Captain going to top out 528. Armstrong is already good for game number 1. And there's ready from Armstrong. Here we go. Game number 2. We'll count them down in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Bang Tetris for Captain, starting off strong with that 12th piece. I'm sure I have to wait. Well, he gets the same Tetris. In fact, they might have played the same pieces in the same spots, because that looked very similar to Captain's pieces after his Tetris. Armstrong with an interesting setup here. He's going to need something to tuck or spin. Going to get the Z, but will not spin it. And now we're getting some misdrops coming in. This is all of a sudden a little scary for Armstrong, but should be able to get this down. SV, the standings will come in after the set. It's going to be first thing I do once I close stream. This is the last set, so should be able to see those once things are done. Nice setup for the Fitz there for Armstrong. And opens up that well, bang, dirty Tetris in column 9. Still playing from behind, though. 117 for Captain, 65,000 for Armstrong. Still early days on 18. Bang Tetris for Armstrong. And another one. Bang Tetris for Captain. Bang Tetris for Captain again. Captain is firing on all cylinders. Armstrong is waiting for these long bars. We'll get one there. 212 for Captain, 140 for Armstrong. SV asking how's Dog not making playoffs. Well, we don't know that yet. However, good luck sweeping Blue Scooty. Ooh, Armstrong in trouble. Bang Tetris for Captain. There's a Tetris for Armstrong. Armstrong is fine, but finds himself down by 90,000 points. Another Tetris for Captain. We're more than past by the halfway point. Captain about a 4.5 Tetris lead right now. Yeah, Dog vs. Scooty is to come. And in order to make the playoffs, Dog has to sweep Scooty. Can't even drop a game. And even then, he gets it on a tiebreaker, not on points alone. Another Tetris for Armstrong. Trying to get back into this as Captain's taking a pretty nice lead. Bang Tetris 426 to 340. About 4 Tetrises, 3.5 Tetrises right now. Yeah, that was the result I heard about, was eyeball sweeping Dog. I was doing a CTM cast and somebody in chat said that and was like, really? That happened? Like that made shockwaves around the community. It felt like. Another Tetris for Armstrong as we're past the 100 line turn. Captain with a strong lead, 476 to 412. Another Tetris for Captain. Every once in a while, I'll go and watch a couple of videos on Super Mario Brothers speedrunners. And I can't tell you how many times I've watched video and it's just been casually looking at the Twitch chat that goes along with the video, and I see Eyeball's name in there. He is very involved in that community as well. Another Tetris for Captain. As Armstrong is pretty high up on the board here. Oh, that was a double flip, but didn't really hurt him. Just makes the dig a little longer. And it's going to open up the right side right before transition. He's looking for a long bar. He's going to have to settle for a couple of burns. Is he going to get those burns? He gets a long bar before the well opens, but gets another long bar after transition. Finds himself down by 100,000 points on level 19. Bang Tetris for Captain. Armstrong getting very high. I don't know if anything is going to go to the right. Just has to do something flat to get one more burn. Long bar does go over. We're still alive. Rolling, folks. It's real good. And Armstrong is burning this down and has the right side open again. It's like nothing happened, except if you look at the score. 8 down by 160,000 points and ahead by 6 lines. Give the 200,000 pace lead over to the Somalian captain right now. Ooh, another misdrop for Armstrong. A bit of a suffer game for sure. Just barely hanging on here. This is a very precarious situation. Chooses to go flat right. Just gets it over to the left when it's a little lower. Captain in trouble. Captain gonna top out. So we have a chase down. 778, 260. Armstrong, you need 779. And you can put the suffer game behind you. Oh no! Another double flip is gonna slow things down a bit. Still has time to clean this up and get this done before 29. And opens up the right side, so he should be all right here. Just needs a couple more Tetrises to get this done. And certainly no more double flips. Oh, doesn't make room for the L. But gets it burnt out fairly quickly with no long bar coming. It's good. You need to burn anyway. Bang Tetris to go to 741. Just going to clear this down. Still not line outable. In fact, this will not be line-outable at any point here unless you get a whole bunch of triples. And going for the long bar. Where is it? There it is. Bang, Tetris. We're up 2-0. And you could just see as soon as he got that Tetris, all the tension in Armstrong just disappeared. It was so visible. There we go. We have a ready from both players, so let's get going here. Game number 3 between Armstrong and the Captain in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Sweep would go a long way for Armstrong in helping his case at the top of the division. He would join Peekayric at a 3-0 match record, only be down by 1 point. But he's got to win this game for that reality to come true. Bang Tetris for both players. Somalian, meanwhile, is in a really good position. He's currently 4-0, top of the table. Even if he loses this, he'll be in good position to at least fight for a spot in Division 1. I'm not sure how that's going to work, though, because there's 3 demotion spots in Division 1 and 4 conditional promotion spots in Division 2. How's that going to work? Numbers don't add up. I'm sure there's a protocol for it. I just don't know what it is. Another Tetris for Armstrong. He's got about a 19,000 point lead right now. There are three demotion spots in Division 1 and 4 conditional promotion spots in Division 2. How exactly is that going to work? Captain getting high here, but we'll get the long bar over. Bang Tetris. You can see he was kind of surprised he got the long bar himself. Another Tetris for both players. Armstrong, though, with a bit of a mess. And he's going to set up in column 9, trying to get the well transfer here. And we'll get that done. Bang Tetris for Armstrong. Probably resolve the double well right away. 215 for Captain, 196 for Armstrong. Captain going to play a row up here. And bang Tetris for Captain. Another Tetris for Captain. Okay, is something similar going to happen? Because that's between Div 2 and Div 3. Something similar is going to happen between 1 and 2, where Division 1 or Division 2's top 4 are going to have a inter-division playoff to figure out who the top 3 are. Where the loser stays in the division and the winners go on to a relegation or a promotion playoff. Yeah. Got it. Oh, that's also the case in 5. I had no idea. Yeah, that's right, because that goes from 2 to 3. Hey, anything to get more Tetris. Bang Tetris for Captain. Captain kind of with a head shake there, but should be okay here. Needs to get something to the right in the moment here. It's going to take some burns. It should be fine as we're approaching the 100 line turn. And this game is neck and neck. Half a line separating the players and scorer. 3 lines in terms of line count. Yeah, we'll wait on a long bar here. Captain has to cover the well and is now scrambling here. Armstrong will take the lead at 100 lines. Bang Tetris for Captain, who's got some burning to do. Transition looming for these players here in game number 3, a very pivotal game number 3 for Captain. Oh, the trouble here is going to get a long bar though. Bang Tetris. Looking to find something clean to open up left side. Doesn't flip the long bar. Still alive though, but this is so dangerous and no long bar shows up. Armstrong, you're good for the game of the match. Armstrong will take the set. And here is your winner with a fist pump and everything. After that crazy game number 2 with the dig early on in 19 and then the big chase down. Danvy says, Somalian, bro, you going to Div 3? No, he's safe. He's not. There's no chance. In fact, he's still looking pretty good for the playoffs to Div 1. So, but we'll see what happens with that.
And ready from Peak. So let's get this going. 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Now we'll keep an eye on Scooty. Scooty's like 45 lines away from colors right now, which is pretty cool. Both players have begun. Both players have started playing Tetris. Yeah, I know, right, Ian Keith? I know, right? $70,000 here in the early days for Somalian. Peak gets a Tetris to go to 72, now 93 for Somalian. The standings right now, I mean, there is a very tight race for first place here. Somalian, third place in that race, still has a 59% promo chance being in this top 3 here. 4-1, 12-4 in matches. Meanwhile, Armstrong 4-0 currently. He will be playing next up, I believe. Currently 12-3 matches, and Peak leading the division, 72% promo chance. 4-0, 12-2. So these players' game records are separated by 1 game each. 12-2, 12-3, and 12-4. Also, Scooty just hit colors. There's an update for you. $163 Somalian, 128 for Pete. Gets a Tetris to go to 152. And another Tetris for Somalian. Pretty clean stacks here. Not too much to critique or comment on, but Peak is in a little bit of a dig. Going to be able to get out of it with just a double. There we go. I'll possibly set up a delayed burn there. No, it's going to solve it alternatively without taking any burns. Sets up a Tucker spin. Gonna spin that in and get a Tetris to go to 223. Somalian 255 now. Of course, Peak rolling. Somalian tapping, but does have that roll in his back pocket. I believe got a 1.4 recently by switching at 29 and getting like 100k post. Update: Scooty is going for Tetrises on the glitch colors. Okay. Tetris for Peak. Goes to 276, 326 for Somalian. And another one to go to 349. Somalian with a nice early lead here, probably pretty comfortable with this lead. And we'll get another Tetris to go to 395, nearing that 400k barrier. Peak crosses 300,000. Somalian with a small dig here should be able to get out of this. Going to put that piece to the right, open the well, not with that bar or that one, but with that T piece. Scooty has just survived charcoal. Tetris for Somalian 450, Peak 381. The Peak has brought this back a little bit. Line differential is minimal, so it is a true 2 Tetris lead for Somalian. Peak getting another Tetris to go to 426. Another Tetris for Peak going to 449. Somalian crosses 500,000 at just 111 lions. Very possible 600k transition here. Pretty sure Scooty just got Lions world record. Volume 549, 479 for Peak. And Peak topped out 481. I think Fractal Stream is just reacting. We have 2 Tetrises though. Counting it down 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Yeah, Ian Keith. So the initial crash is a single at 1489 lines, and Scooty accidentally took a double, but then got a second crash at 1511 lines. Yeah, Blue Scooty is a gamer, and so are these 2 players. Both players starting off with a Tetris. Peak with some pushdown. Quite a bit of pushdown, actually. Nice adjustment there for Somalian. Trying to stay perfect. Gets another Tetris and sets up again. Peak has taken a couple of burns at 70,000, 68 for Somalian. Tucks that T. Trying to mitigate any burns possible, but does set up a T-spin. Blocks it 1 piece too late and does not use the T to do a clean 1 burn solution. Will now burn it with 4 burns. We'll give Peak the chance to catch back up, and we'll get the lead there. 118 now for Peak. 94,000 for Somalian. And Peak's board, oh, this is getting rough. This is rough. Topping out 120. So Somalian takes a quick game number 2 here. Fractal may have gotten it first if he didn't have to go buy a remote from Walmart. We got 2 readies though. Counting it down 3, 2, 1 Tetris. So this is a big moment for Peak here. Needs to win the next 3 games in a row. Or it kind of opens the door for both Armstrong and Somalian perhaps to try and take that first place spot. Also really big for Somalian because this is his last game of the season. Currently has the most points in the division at 27, but only has this last game, so wants to maximize the amount of points. Meanwhile, Pkric and Armstrong both have 2 more. Pkric, one of those 2, including this one. But Somalian starting off a bit rough here. Somalian setting up a very high up well, gonna take a triple and setting up for this dirty Tetris. Takes a safe double, but stack's just kind of falling apart. Does get a dirty Tetris. Pkric at 115 though, early lead, and it's only going to grow as long as Somalian keeps on digging here. Somalian is now clean, 87,000 points on his side. Pkric at 167, just about doubling Somalian's score, now over double with that Tetris, but Somalian will strike back to cross 100,000 points. Somalian is kind of clawing back a bit. Currently at 158, 239 now for Pkric with that Tetris. Now the lead is back to about where it was earlier, though Somalian is behind in lines a bit. Does take a dirty, I believe, triple or double that was. But we are still early on, so plenty of time to claw back at this lead. Behind about 80,000 points at the moment. Pkric 310 now, 232 Somalian. Somalian, oh, unable to use that bar. Was 1 Mino shy of being able to. Now Pkric doing a small dig here. Should be able to get out of this. This is what Somalian needs, though, to start trying to get back into the lead, or at least catching up. We'll get a Tetris there, only behind a Tetris and a half. Pkric doesn't get out of this soon. Somalian could take the lead, gets another Tetris. One more would give him the lead. Sets up the bit, setups the Tetris. And there's the bar for it. Somalian takes the lead now, 331. 324 Pkric. Pkric opens the well, so this is a tied ball game now. And Pkric gets a Tetris. Goes to 349. Somalian strikes back, goes to 354. Players just separated by a few thousand points now, though. Pkric gets another Tetris in a quick succession. Both players have now crossed the 100 line mark. Pkric at 420, Somalian at 422, but Somalian's also behind 5 lines, so even a bit of a bigger pace lead for him at the moment. They're now tied. They're separated by 600 points, at least for a moment there. Both players were at 450 or 4 something. Forgot the score. I thought it was 451, but it's not that. But Somalian, this is dangerous. Opens the well, but needs a bar, needs it literally now. Gets the bar over. Bit of a cheeky smile on his face there after that one. And it's going to clean this out pretty easily. Pkric has actually transitioned already at 503. Somalian still 2 more Tetrises available. We'll fill that piece dependency there. Just for Somalian 521 and transitions 545. Pkric gets a Tetris into level 20 at 538. and about 10 lines. I'm not sure how that happened, but it did happen. So there we go. Tetris for Peek, 565, 570 Somalian. The score is pretty close, but the lines are not. So the more Somalian can take advantage of this, the better. Peek just throwing that piece down there. Did not like where it went, but kind of had to throw it down there. Didn't have too much of a choice. Somalian 627, 604 for Peek. Gets another Tetris to go to 632. As long as Somalian keeps on scoring these Tetrises, we'll just have this advantage over Peek. But the stack is getting a bit high. Needs to hit a pretty high left tap. Gonna get that burn and get that piece over, but still not out of this yet. Not getting the right pieces. Gonna have to try and switch the roll, but it's too high up. And tops out 664. So Peek, you are good for game number 3. Believe it or not, King, that was the best game yet. That was the best game of the set so far. But we do have a Tetris. Let's count down game number 4 here. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. $50,000 for Somalian, 72 here for Peek. Somalian gets a Tetris, goes to 72 as well, so players playing about the same amount of efficiency. Okay, sorry about that. I had to respond to a DM. 141, Somalian 144 for Peek. Very close game here. Somalian's board a little dependent. Kind of needs a J piece, or else we'll have to make some awkward placements, and unfortunately did have to do just that. Stack's climbing a bit. We'll do possibly a nice T piece placement. Opted to just do that one instead. Or maybe I saw it wrong. I don't know. Somalian is getting high here, and with tap, you never want to be this high, even if you're pretty fast. But oh, Somalian, that left side might be inaccessible. Oh, gets the J over, but hangs the bar, popping out at 149, and just like that, we have a decider. But we got two Tetris, two readies. Wow. 3, 2, 1 Tetris. At least I'm not later now. Yeah. Maybe if he sweeps Armstrong, I'm not even sure about that. Like, what's it? 7 points if you sweep, so he'd go up to 26. But Armstrong still has 2 games, so like, I think he could, but it's unlikely. It's like Armstrong has to just like get swept by the rest of his opponents. It's gonna be tough. I mean, it's possible, I suppose, but it's gonna be tough. We'll see what Doodle can do. Doodle can do. Doodle. Somalian starts off 2 Tetris is perfect. Peek had to take some burns to start, but they get a Tetris on his board as well. Tetris for Somalian going to 115. Peak. Not starting off the best, but we'll get another Tetris there to go to 75,000. 138 Somalian. Peak will cross 100,000 points with that Tetris though, and is slightly behind in lines. Still does not take away from the fact that Somalian does have the true lead. Now that the line count is about tied, we can see that is true. But players have a lot to lose here, you know. This is the decider, so you know, the loser not only loses this game, but will lose the set, so. I should look at it glass half full. The person who wins this game will win the set. That's a much more positive spin on it. Tetris there for Somalian, 193. Peak also at 193. Now both at 216. And Peak has tied Somalian by pushing down and has taken the lead from Somalian by pushing down. In a simul Tetris, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Someone taking the lead with like an actual score by getting pushdown points. That's pretty funny. A bit of a drought happening for both players. And Somalian's board now has some holes in it. Peak able to deal with this drought a bit better, and there's a bar for the Tetris. Nice burns from Somalian there. Opting to take the Tetris over filling the dependency. Somalian is smarter than I would have filled into the dependency and then got another drought. But has cleaned out of this. Peak now has a small lead. So is ahead in line, so really this is a pretty tied up game, all things considered. Tetris for Somalian, 347, 362 for Peak. We are nearing the 100 line mark. Players will get there with a Tetris. There we go. Peak goes to 100 lines at 416. Somalian also at 416. Down about 300 points there for a moment. Cross the 100 lines, 418. So that's how close this game is. There's same line count separated by 100 or 1,000 points or so. The exact kind of game you want to see in a decider. $488 now for Peak. Fills in that J dependency. There's a bar for the Tetris across 500,000 points. Somalian should be seeing that bar in a moment. There it is. Crosses 500,000 as well. This game is close, 510 to 511. Favor in Peak, but is ahead in line slightly. So, I mean, this is just so close. It's hard to say. Another drought. Peak opens the well. Next Tetris will transition him to level 19. There we go. Peak goes to transition 540. Somalian goes to transition 545. This is really tight. Tetris for Peak. Somalian as well. 575. Somalian 568 for Peak. But Somalian in level 40. There we go. Or 20. Doubled the number for some reason. Back-to-back Tetris there for Peak. They go to 619, 600 for Somalian. Sets up a delayed burn. There's a little bit of work to do on the stack, but going to bring it down quickly. There we go. Tetris for Somalian, 630. 622 for Peek. Peek kind of high up, needs to do some digging here. This is what Somalian needs to start taking a lead. Already has it by about a Tetris, and now 2. Just every Tetris Somalian gets while Peek's still in this dig is just another advantage. There's another Tetris, 714 for Somalian. But Peek will get a Tetris there to respond. Finally got out of that dig. But not unscathed, because now Somalian has the lead. 715. Now another Tetris, 744. Tetris for Peek to go to 693. Players just trading Tetrises right now. And that's not what Peek needs, because Somalian has that 3 Tetris lead. Another bar over 727. 775 for Somalian. Small dig, but gets out of it beautifully. Gets a bar, gets a Tetris, 809. This is what you wanted to see in a decider. Oh, but Peek hanging that piece, going to cause some birding, will give Somalian the chance to pad this lead even further. Some awkward placements for Peek that might work out. Screen looked and seemed to have made a misdrop again. Somalian nearing a 100,000 point lead with this, and Peek going to get a bit of a line lead due to playing this high up. And gets a triple. $817 for Peek, $893 for Somalian. Somalian digging as well. Peek doesn't get out of this soon. May need kill screen. Somalian's got some in his back pocket too. Peek setting up a dirty Tetris. And there's the bar. There's the Tetris. 860 now. 938 for Somalian. Probably about to switch the roll. Peek probably just focused on getting this board down before the kill screen. And we'll transition to kill screen. 875. Somalian 975. So Peek needs to play a lot, but hangs that square. He's something at left side. Not throwing stuff there. Gets the bar over. Gonna top out 885 and Peek's streak is over. Let's see what you can do, Somalian. You have won game number 5. A nice B score there to end it off. But your winner is Somalian. Definitely dead forever. Yeah, true. Sorry, Armstrong. Sorry to hear it. But we have 2 ready, so let's count down game number 1 here in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Square piece and a T piece and a Z piece and a square piece and a T piece and a Z piece. Same piece sets are confirmed. Let's go. Good stuff. Armstrong starting off with a Tetris. Peek with a couple of holes. Does a great burn with that J to open that hole up. Lickety split. And is now set up for a Tetris. Just needs a bar. Should be seeing it in a second. There it is. Bar for Peek and the Tetris. First Tetris of his game. Going to 26,000. Armstrong 48,000. Dude, Peek definitely saved Doodle, bro. Dude, he was not going to show up on time. Peek is a damn lifesaver. It's crazy. 166 Armstrong, 144 for Peak. A small lead for, or now it's for Armstrong. Actually got a quick few burns there to take that tiny lead. Currently at 170, 169 for Peak. A very close game to start here. Hello, Richard. How's it going, Richard? Hope you're doing well, Richard. Eepy. I woke up at 3 p.m. today, so I'm not eepy. $225 for Peak, 179, make it 202. Armstrong and another Tetris to go to 225. Pretty clean stacks here from both players. Peak's pretty flat, but still has spots for most of these pieces, and if he doesn't, can set up tucks or other shenanigans. Armstrong's left side was really high there for a moment. Is bringing it down, can now get a bar there. And a beautiful J flat for that burn. $281 for Armstrong, 305 for Peak with the center well. Gets bar, gets Tetris, 328 for Peak with that Tetris. Armstrong has it set up on the right side, throwing these pieces to the left, gets a bar, gets a Tetris, and does not set up the delayed Vits. I'm angry. I retire, actually. It gets a Tetris, so it's fine, I guess. Gets a 350. I wonder if I can, like... No, I cannot. $419 for Armstrong, crossing that 100 line mark. Reese, 84 for Peak. Still a bit of a dirty board here. Probably going to try and set up dirty. Will do so with that J burn into the L. The setup would be a nice way to get that hole unopened as soon as possible. Or open, not unopened. It is currently unopened. But not getting the right pieces, so Armstrong is now taking a sizable lead. 467 for him, 389 for Peak, though Peak is behind the lines by a little bit. But now the lines are tied up. In fact, now Peak has more lines. So Armstrong's stack is higher, so probably we'll get that line lead back sooner than later. There we go. Get the Tetris, 490, and another Tetris to go to 513. Now almost 100,000 points ahead of Peak. Peak will transition with this Tetris, 489 transition for him. Armstrong looking for that last Tetris, will get it. And transition 539, so about a 2.5 Tetris lead for Armstrong. Peak goes to 515. 2 clean boards, Tetris Armstrong. And another Tetris for Peak. Very, very tight game here. Separated by 50,000 points, but players just trading these Tetrises back and forth and back and forth. So the score keeps climbing, but the lead is just staying the same. $650 now for Armstrong, $598 for Peak. Had to fill out that left side and opted to take a Tetris there, but no has the dependency filled and brought it down. Score lead still 50,000 in the favor of Armstrong, so players have matched each other's efficiency almost to a T. But now Armstrong has set up a couple of burns, beautifully turned the dependencies to much more manageable ones and got it down. Set up. And there's a bar. There's a Tetris. Tetris there for Peek. Peek has brought this back to just about a Tetris lead. He's slightly less than a Tetris lead. Armstrong rather got a couple quick Tetrises there to bring that lead back up a bit. 802 Armstrong, 777 for Peek. Must have been pretty lucky there. And must have been because he got the lead back though. Armstrong took it back again. Just leads now just being traded. Peek takes it back there. Armstrong will take it back with that Tetris. And Peek is set up again and will probably take it back with the next Tetris. There we go. Takes the lead back. And then Armstrong takes the lead back. 904 now for Armstrong. 872 for Peek. This is pretty damn close. Tetris for Peek, but had to create a bar dependency, fills it quickly. And Armstrong now has a bit of a hole in his board. Stacks climbing, does get a Tetris to go to 978. Needs to clean this up. Bar there, word, oh my gosh, not the time. The bar there will be quite nice for that stack. And there's a dirty Tetris for the max. One more Tetris available. Armstrong gonna build for it dirty and hope to bring it down. Peek also with the max. Armstrong dirty Tetris, A62 in the kill screen. Needs to get a bar left or something. Peek goes in the kill screen, A39, gets a bar over for a triple A49 for Peek. You need A69, Peek. A69 is the score you need. Clean board, very possible. Plenty of runway, just needs a few burns. 63, 65, 66. But hanging some pieces. 67, 68, 800 is good. Oh my god. Peek taking it by 800 points. Man. Armstrong had that lead basically the whole game, but just, oh my gosh, just had a dig at the end of 28, had to sell out for a couple of dirty Tetrises, and wasn't able to do anything on kill screen. Peek able to go to level 31 and take the game. And there's a ready from Peek. Both players ready for game number 2. 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Really burning here to start for Armstrong. Peek taking a quick 59,000 point lead. Has already gotten 3 Tetrises. Armstrong has yet to get any. There is one though. Goes to 33,000. Set up for another. And there's a bar for it. 57,000 now for Armstrong. 92. Make it 114 for Peek. Armstrong with a small tuck set up there. Gets the T tucked. A little dependent on a bar or an L. Will get the bar. Now dependent on a bar or a J. There's the J. $152. Armstrong 186 for Peek. Peek ahead in score and behind in lines. I mean, that's really where you want to be. Tying up the line count here with that Tetris. Peek at 233, 175 Armstrong. So a real like 3 Tetris lead for Peek. This is probably one of the most important matches of the season. The final undefeated player, Armstrong here. Trying to maintain that streak and try and get that auto promotion. The promo chances are about as close as can get. 72% for Peek, 71% for Armstrong. Oh, Peek's left side there. A little bit of a mess. We'll have to burn this down. Armstrong takes a solidified lead with that. Tetris. Oh, never mind. It's not solidified because they're separated by 1,000 points still. Because Peek got out of that a lot quicker than I thought he would. Yeah, Peek is out of it. Armstrong does have the lead still. 406, now 429. Peek at 386. Gets a Tetris 409. I mean, this is another really tight game here. Near the 100 line mark, and players separated by less than a Tetris. I mean, it's just true efficiency being shown by both players here. Armstrong gets another Tetris. This lead is growing a bit. 486 Armstrong, 423 Peek. A little double tuck action there from Armstrong. I don't think it's one of those frame perfect ones, but... Oh, and rotate that piece twice to make room for that other one. That was sick as well. 512 now for Armstrong, 469 Peek. Has to open up that right side, has a bar dependency, gonna fill it with the L, and we'll just take these burns, hurting the efficiency even further. And now only has one single to give. Armstrong transitions 520. Playing off of row 1, gets a Tetris. I believe they call that a dusty one. And Peek gonna transition 481. Armstrong is ahead in lines, though, has a pretty significant lead. That's 598. Does Armstrong 510 for Peek. And Armstrong hanging that piece on the left. Love a T piece here to help with that middle, but actually, ooh, oh, doesn't rotate that piece though. So going to have to do some burning. Will give Peek the chance to catch up a bit. Board for Armstrong is rising a bit. It's taking some nice burns. Stack is a lot better now, but not out of it still. Peek setting up a beautiful delayed burn setup. Look at that. And Peek is nearing the score. Armstrong's at 644 for Armstrong, 627 Peek. Armstrong is playing off a row one. Gets a dirty Tetris, 680. Armstrong still digging, and Peek is right on his tail. 686 Peek, 695 Armstrong, and Peek takes the lead. 716 and another one, 746. And Peek is behind in lines by 7. This is exactly what Peek needed. Armstrong setting up dirty, perhaps no, gonna take the burn. But every burn Armstrong takes is just more chances for Peek to take this lead even further. And Armstrong hanging that bar on the left. Gets another one over, though. That was a fast tap. Gets a dirty Tetris, 744. Peek at 820. It's an 80,000 point lead, and Peek has a Tetris advantage in lines as well. We're nearing the point where kill screen will be necessary for Armstrong. Board is almost stabilized. And another Tetris for Peek. Small dig here in his future, but a beautiful double will essentially solve that up. A couple more burns to open the well. There we go. Well's open. Board for Armstrong is rising. It tops out 757. Peek at 901. You were good for game number 2. Lucky guy. We got 2 readies. 3, 2, 1 Tetris. Yeah, your match was supposed to start like 25, 30 minutes ago. Kind of a rough start for both players. We'll get a Tetris. Peek will. Armstrong already had one. Gets another one to go to 49,000. Peek at 30 and gets a Tetris. Second time this season I've forgotten about Tetris and fallen asleep. You are very lucky, Doodle. That's all I can say. It's super lucky. $167 for Armstrong, 173 for Peek. I mean, once again, just super freaking close game here. Pretty clean stacks here from both players. Peek just threw a couple of bars to the left for the fun of it. Players just stacking good. I mean, it's not too much to say, really. Armstrong's at 312 now, 316 for Peek. I mean, this is just how close the players are. I'm pretty sure this small differential means one of them took a double and one of them took a couple singles or something along those lines. Armstrong sets up the T-spin, but doesn't use the T to spin it. And this board is climbing not the direction you want it to go. He's getting these burns, but one bad P sequence is all it takes to kill you at this height. And Armstrong hangs the bar, tops out 341. So Peek takes it in a sweep, which means Peek has guaranteed that #1 spot, 35 points. And the final standings here for the top 3, I don't think it's going to be touched anymore. Peek, first place, 35 points, 100% promo chance, will be going to Div 1. Somalian, second place, 5-1. So all the top 3 was 5-1. So Somalian, 5-1, 32 points. Second place, and Armstrong has secured his spot in the playoffs. 5-1, 31 points. A very tight season there. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this, but okay. So we currently have 4 more matches left to go this season, technically, because unfortunately, 3 of the 4 remaining matches are not going to make it to YouTube, including some high-profile matches like Dog vs Scooty or Miles vs Andy, and here's why. Dog vs Blue Scooty was a very important match this season, as Dog was looking to beat Scooty in a sweep if he wanted to advance to the CTL playoffs. Anything other than a sweep would not be enough to advance and would end his streak of making it into at least the semifinals of every single CTL season we've had since our revamp back in season 18. However, Dog was just having a bad day and 3 early top outs completely destroyed his run, and he ended his season in 3rd place of his group division. As disappointing as that match was, it's understandable. Everyone has bad days, bad performances. Happens to the best of us, it's really not a big deal. Here's where the real problems arise. 2 of the 3 remaining matches, Miles vs Andy and Pkric vs Chiller, were actually really good matches on paper, because when watching the stream itself, every single game was running as smoothly as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was on launch day. I don't know for sure if it was a calibration issue with Nestris Champs, the program we've been using for our game capture this season, an issue with the player's capture cards, or some issue on the Restreamer side. However, the stream quality was so bad, so atrocious, that even though the matches themselves were actually really good, they aren't going to see the light of day. Don't believe me? Here's a few seconds of these matches.
And resolve in 19. Board's gonna be spiky for. This is gonna put him in trouble. Andy at 397, Miles at 418, and Andy in a dig right now for 1.
Sometimes I yearn for the days of old when CTL matches used to look like this. Oh, I just got another Tetris, level 29. Sodium gets a 1.2 at level 29. Is that world record? Anyway, Andy ended up beating Miles 3-2, and Chiller beat Pkric 3-2 as well. Both Andy and Miles would go on to move on to the playoffs, while Chiller would go on to avoid relegation with that win against Pkric. So here's a final look at the standings before we move on to the final match of this regular season. Kill me.
And we are on the right seed and the same score and the same pieces. 4 push-down points from Wolan, not the usual 5. Now he has 5. So let me get a projector here so I can see them better. And first Tetris from Dangler. Wolan is waiting for the Lombard still. Let me get things that are nice here. I'm gonna try to just watch it here because I only have a single monitor. No Lombards for Dangler. There is finally his for Wolan and Dangler. Tetris for Wolan. Wolan needs to open as well. Wolan at 26 gets a Tetris, takes the lead 49. A triple for Dangler 32. Wolan in the lead still with a cleaner board. Dangler with a Tetris ready board from row 2 gets the Tetris to 55. Wolan at 72. Dangler right now at 56. Wolan at 95. Wolan Tetris ready. Dangler at 79. Dangler, Wolan at 118. Dangler gets a Tetris to 101, so Wolan still in the lead. Dangler committed to that row 2 setup for now. Tetris for Wolan. Wolan needs to fill in the left a little bit. Tetris for Dangler, 124 for Dangler, and Wolan at 163. Tetris for Dangler. Dangler at 147. Wolan 163. So Wolan is going to maintain the lead with another Tetris to 186. Dangler at 170. So still less than a Tetris of separation between these players. Anything can happen. Wolan's going to get another Tetris to 210. Dangler at 193. Wolan is building. He is still building. Tetris for Dangler. Dangler is going to take the lead with a Tetris to 216. Dangler at 212. Both players at Tetris ready. Wolan's going to get his Tetris, takes the lead back, but Dangler's going to reclaim it. 239 for Dangler and 239 for Wolan. Wolan gets a Tetris to 258, but Dangler responds. But this is going to be pretty neck and neck. Looks like we are now reaching the midpoint. Tetris for Wolan, Tetris for Dangler. 285 for Wolan. 35 for Dangler, 307 now with the Tetris. Wolan at 281, waiting for a long war. The droughts are a bit annoying here. Why is this drought counter not working though? Tetris for Wolan, and another one. Tetris for Wolan. Yeah, the drought counter kinda got stuck. I'm not sure if it's maybe in the piece counts. Wolan at 351 and Dangler at 333. Tetris for Wolan. Wolan at 374. Dangler at 362. So Wolan is back in the lead at 397. Tetris and a half screen them. Tetris for Dangler. Dangler at 286. Wolan at 401. Tetris for Wolan. 425. Dangler at 410. Okay, looks like the drought counter fixed itself. Maybe. Tetris for Wolan. Wolan at 449. Dangler at 435. Very efficient games from these players. Reaching very likely high 400s before the 100 line. Dangler having to burn though, and Dangler in a drought. Wolan need to deal with the drought as well. Just looking a bit rough for Wolan. Wolan getting a bit high. Dangler also getting high. Both players in danger. Wolan and Dangler need to burn. There's a Tetris finally. 476 for Wolan, 446 for Dangler. Dangler is trying to get as well open still. So Wolan really will lead over 2 Tetrises already. Wolan right now at 503, Dangler at 452. Tetris for Wolan. Wolan now at 532, Dangler at 458, Tetris for Dangler. 481. Wolan need to rebound the board. He's gonna go for a double to keep things safe. Looks like he will set up at left well. He's doing so. Wolan, however, is longer depending on the left side. Needs to be careful. Transition at 527 for Dangler. Wolan transition at 560. Tetris for Dangler. Dangler at 551. Wolan at 560. Still a very close one. Tetris for Wolan. 584. Dangler gets a Tetris to 577. Dangler is ready. Wolan is ready. Tetris for Wolan. Wolan at 608. Dangler 577. And the droughts, mini droughts though, there's a Tetris for Dangler. Dangler at 603. Wolan at 611. Tetris for Wolan 636. Dangler needing to open his left well, reaching the left well, and gets the well open on the right side. 608 for Dangler, 663 for Wolan. I might have a game control near me a moment. No, I don't have a game. Wolan right now at 668. Dangler, I'm sorry, Dangler 668. Wolan 719. And another Tetris for Wolan to 747. Dangler at 699. So very small score difference, just over a Tetris. So very close game throughout. Wolan is Tetris ready. Dangler gets a Tetris at 728. He's gonna get Tetris ready. Wolan with a very imbalanced board needs to be very careful. Gets the low board to the left. Dangler trying to get Tetris ready again. The Tetris ready now. Tetris for Wolan 810. Tetris for Dangler 8787. Wolan behind in lines though, so he's starting to build the pace lead as well. Although Wolan's board looking a bit messy. Tetris for Dangler 819, taking the lead. Tetris for Dangler 850, taking the lead. Wolan at 823. Dangler needing to clean up. Ooh, not sure about that placement, but it worked out pretty nicely on that L. Tetris for Dangler. Dangler now at 883. Wolan trying to get his well open after a direct Tetris to 857. Tetris for Wolan. Wolan at 888. Taking the lead, but Dangler takes it back, but Dangler needs to dig. Wolan is Tetris ready in the meantime. Tetris for Wolan. Wolan takes the lead, 921. Dangler at 917. Dangler's Tetris not quite. Oh, that misdrop on the J. It's gonna slow him down, so Wolan maintained the lead at 954. Max out coming for both players. Wolan going for some safety burns, looks like. He's gonna get a nice Lombard that will get him Tetris ready pretty quickly. Tetris for Dangler.